Hi everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. My name is Osereme and today's video is all about how to make a spiral structure design just like you see on the screen right now. Now this design can actually be made with any fabric of your choice, and this can be used as a full dress just like you see in the picture on the screen, or to design a dress. It all depends on you. This has been trending for a very long time and I decided to share it with you guys today. So if this is something you're interested in, you definitely want to keep on watching. And if you're still yet to subscribe, please hit on the subscribe button and let us get started with today's video. So this is the material I'm going to be using. It's an organdy fabric, and this is because I want it to be looking transparent by the time I'm done. But you can totally use any fabric of your choice. I've seen this in so many different places. It doesn't necessarily have to be organza or organdy. You only use this if you want it to be transparent. And now the amount of fabric you need actually depends on what you are using it for. If you're using it for a full dress or you're just using it as part of a dress to design the dress, so it totally depends on you at the end of the day. So for the purpose of this is a tutorial. I do not intend to use this for anything. This is just for the sake of teaching. I'm just going to be using half yard of my organdy. I've gone ahead to stitch it down on both edges so that it looks neat. So apart from your fabric, another important material you will need is your fishing line, and what I'm using here is 1.20 mm. So this is what I'm going to be using for this tutorial. So for this method, you will need to change your regular sewing foot and put in a zipper foot. Okay, so I'm going to be putting this in and I'm going to be using the left side of it. Okay, so I'm placing the left side in, so you can change your own sewing machine foot to a left footer so that you'll be able to sew very close to the fishing line. The closer you are to the fishing line, the neater your work will be. Okay, so once you've done that, just go ahead and place your fishing line on your fabric just like I'm doing here. Use your fabric to cover it nicely and then go ahead and place it on the sewing machine like this. Now this is a repeated process. Once you start, you're just going to continue doing the same thing with your fishing line. So I'm trying to make sure it's staying perfectly in place. You can decide to draw lines where you want to stitch on exactly for at least the first 2 or 3. And then you can now continue and use that as a template for all the other ones you'll be doing. Okay, but for me, I just decided to do this with my free hand. I am just making sure that I'm stitching as close as I can get to the fishing line. Like I said, the closer your stitches are to the fishing line, the better for you. So that's why you should use a zipper foot, especially if you are going to be making a lot of this, okay? Because it will look very neat. Now, for those of you who do not have zipper foot and would like to do something like this, maybe just very little for a little design on a dress, I will not advise it for a lot of work because it will really not look nice and it will be very stressful. What you can do is to sew the lines first. So just like I'm sewing now, but if you do not have a zipper foot, do not bother placing the fishing line as you sew. Just sew plainly without fishing line. Just create all the channels where you want the fishing line to be. And then when you're done, you will start inserting the fishing line one after the other. Imagine how that already sounds. It sounds really stressful, but that is something you can do if you do not have a zipper foot, so that you'll be able to sew very close to the fishing line. Okay, so with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and continue with what I'm doing. I'll finish this to the end and then start a new line. All right guys, so this is what it looks like after I was done. As you can see, it looks really nice. This is the first casing. This is the first line. So I'm going to go ahead and create the second one, the third, fourth, and continue like that. It's just a repeated process. So I'm going to make sure it is always stitched very close to the fishy line. So I'm going to continue with this line, move on to the third, and continue like that.
It's your time. Don't be held back again. You need to resist your own limits. This fire.
Please note that it's not as easy as it looks actually. This is actually very time consuming. So you have to be very careful, especially now that this style is very trendy. For someone to send this to you, you have to charge very well because this is going to take a lot of your time. You don't want to charge little for this and then end up spending months, especially if you do not have a lot of people to help you out with this. If you notice the designers that actually go for this particular type of design, they have a lot of workers. You do not want to put yourself in a position where you're struggling and wondering who even sent you in the first place, okay? So if you're going to take this, make sure you have enough hands that are going to help, especially if you intend to make it into a full dress, like what is really trending right now. But if it's just part of a design, that's fine. But if it's a full dress, please, if you know that you do not have enough hands, do not take it because it's going to be very, very time consuming. So I'm done with the first two now, going in with the third, and then I continued the same way, and you guys can just see me just continuing with it as I go on. So at this time, this is how far I've gone, and you can see how beautiful it's looking. It's looking very nice. I just decided to stop it somewhere here. I just trimmed off the excess and just finished up the edges because this was already looking nice. Now, one thing you should notice that you can actually bead on this. I've seen a lot of people, after placing the design on the fabric or whatever they intend to do with it, they go ahead and bead it as well. This is very versatile. You can do anything with it. So this is what I had after I was done stitching down all the areas I wanted to stitch down. This is looking nice and clean. What you do now to the edges is just to trim off the excess that you have, just like you see me doing like this. And I'm going to do the same thing for the other side as well. And now to finish this end, what you will need is you can use a piece of the same organdy fabric to just fold the edges to make it look neat here, or you can use a bias. It all depends on what you intend to do with it at the end of the day. So after I was done, I went ahead to just drape it on my little dress form here, and you can see what it is looking like. It looks very beautiful. It is very simple to make, but it is very time consuming. Anyways, thank you so much guys for watching today's video. I hope you find it helpful. Let me know if you'll be trying this out in the comment section, and I will definitely see you guys in my next one. Bye.